Decided to do this talk because over the years, as some of you have known that have been following me, I have been talking about different religions from various times and breaking them down and basically, showing you where they have a lot of holes in their theories and how their dogma literally affects human beings from the time you're born all the way until the time you die. And it puts us in this cycle of continuation of fake news and fake information. Now, we don't have a lot of people don't have the capability of discerning what is real within that religious text and what is actually fake. And I've gone through over 1,000 scriptures, cylinder scrolls, papyruses, cuneiform tablets. I've gone to indigenous countries. I've gone and walked amongst the people. I've talked to the sages and the elders. I've touched hieroglyphs. I've been everywhere, as you've known from all of my photos and videos from traveling around the world nonstop. I've been traveling for 25 years around this planet. And what I found is that when religion grabs a hold of someone, it literally takes them almost forever and sometimes never to be able to understand there's a much bigger picture and that they've been trapped into a system that's kind of put them into a box. And I really want people to be able to understand that in order for human beings to get to the next level, we have to break out of this box. Sometimes when I talk about these topics, people tend to think that I'm an atheist or I don't believe in God. It's actually, they've heard me, but they weren't listening. They heard me, but they really weren't listening. What I'm about is I believe in a creator, and I've said this 1,000 times on 1,000 interviews. Why do I believe in a creator? Because the mathematics, the quantum physics already proves that there's a creator of this realm, that an entity or possibly entities outside of this universe, they're not inside here with us, created this realm. I call it a fractal holographic matrix because if you don't know what fractals are, I did a whole 3-hour class on fractals. Maybe I'll do a fresh and up-to-date one with newer and more information as well. But we're living in a fractal holographic matrix. It doesn't mean that we're not real, but it means that the divine spark that created this software, this program code that we're operating in, we're fully immersed in, is made of light. We're living inside of a light matrix. As above, so below. We create light matrices with our programming codes, and we put them into video games, and we put them onto internets, and we put them into metaverses. We do the same thing that was done to us because it's encoded into our DNA. It's encoded into every single atom in our body. We create the same exact universes that we're living in. We create a video game like The Sims, which is an actual universe. We create a video game like No Man's Sky, which has 80 quadrillion planets and unlimited life forms, and the game never ends. It's driven on the Mandelbrot set, fractal holography. Okay? And so we've done the same thing that basically has been done to us. What is the Big Bang? When the console turns on in The Sims, right? And so we're looking at a situation where we're just duplicating what has already been done to us, or how we arrived here. A creator, a master programmer, put down a code that creates this realm. We know that Professor James Gates Jr., who's a professor at the University of Maryland, used to be the former scientific advisor to Obama during the Obama era. He actually is one of the world leading leaders in supersymmetry and theoretical physics. He put together a super team of theoretical physicists and experts in supersymmetry, and they took on the huge task of cracking the code to what is the nature of the universe. What is this soup that we're living in? What, in every Planck unit of space-time, what is actually here? And what was interesting was he discovered that we are living in a program. And the program code is written on something called Adinkras. And these Adinkra codes were originally put out by the Dogon tribe. They would put these Adinkra symbols in clothing and materials and etchings into caves and buildings and structures, wherever they could put these codes. When we take these 2-dimensional codes and put them into a 3-dimensional format, they become something totally different. They become mathematical constructs. But not just any mathematical constructs, they become something called error correcting codes. And we find that, or James S. Gates Jr. discovered that these error correcting codes that make up the ether of space-time or govern what we call the universe and all of its rules and laws are the same exact error correcting codes that run your search engine web browsers, cell phones, and Google, for example. So what's going on? Again, more as above, so below. If you always want to know what's going on in the macro, look at the micro. Look at what's in front of you, and you'll find out exactly what's going on the largest level. Everything that's going on here on this scale is going on above us, and everything that's going on here on this scale is going on beneath us in smaller forms. When you get into the subatomic world, everything can be mirrored from the smallest to the highest. And so what we're living in now, scientifically peer-reviewed science, we're living in a program. We're living in a programmed matrix. So in essence, yeah, the Bible's correct. We're living in a creation. The fractal holography is the description of the type of matrix that was created and how it was created. The Bible doesn't say what type of matrix, it just says the word. Now, the word is sound, that's frequency. So we know frequency had a lot to do with collapsing this wave into existence in this third dimension. But that's a whole nother workshop I can go into so much deeper. I really want to begin to get into what we're talking about today. I just wanted to give you kind of a synopsis why I decided to do this. I want people to wake up and understand that we have to teach our next generation to do better when it comes to religion. We can't beat it out of them. We can't yell it out of them. We can't force it out of them. Everyone has to go on their own path and their own journey. But what we have to do is at least be able to give them an option. Because up to this point right now, unfortunately, when you're born, you're given a name, a race, and a religion, and you spend the rest of your life defending a false identity. This is the case. This is the nature of the world today. We're given a religion as soon as we come out of the womb. We're given a religion before we even come out of the womb. People are already praying over over the mother's belly and praises and prayers and this and that. And whatever those prayers are for, whatever religion they belong to, that's now encoding into your cells through cymatic frequencies. So you come out and now you've been given this thing and you haven't even had a chance to research it, study it, or make any objective thoughts about it for yourself, because it was forced on you, and now it's become part of your culture. And so this happens from generation to generation to generation. And even though there's a lot of falsehoods in the teaching and a lot of contradictory information in the teaching and a lot of information left out in the teachings by accident on purpose, it's never really looked into in depth, and it's just continued to pass on for thousands of years. And it's one of the biggest things holding mankind back. And so that's what we're going to take a look at today. What is the difference between religion and spirituality?